Just hit that like button, Cindy. Da 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 da. What's my good cheer? Welcome, welcome, everybody. We got 20 minutes today. So, hi. If you've never met me before, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And each week we've been picking a powerful word and just kind of digging at the word in different perspectives. And we are on word number 30. And we got this word community, a big, huge, monster word, right? Lots of fears, right? Lots of insecurities, lots of self doubts, lots of comparison, lots of judging, lots of balance. Seriously, when I talk about that balance of all of that, because you're juggling so much, being highly sensitive and being empathic, right? We can walk into a room and just pick up absolutely everything and we can hold it on as our own, or in that hypervigilance of wanting to be safe, we can super analyze things, we can read into things, right? We get things wrong, right? Sometimes when we can't find something, we'll find something. What is that? Right? What is that? So in having this opportunity to come online and share my journey, that's my vulnerability, okay? Right? Because with that information, because I come here genuine and because I'm sharing the experience, I'm sharing personal experiences that in the wrong hands, right? That somebody might think that I might be swayed in a certain direction, or they can give me an ouchie here, or sadness here, or kick here when I'm down, right? That I'm going to buckle in on myself. And if I was going to do that, I would have done that such a long time ago, right? Not when the clouds are starting to clear. That's a really good analogy. I'll have to remember that one for myself, right? When I am looking out at the sky and seeing the dreariness and seeing where I'm not at yet, right? Just not sitting in the spot where my community is because I'm not there yet. And not only am I not there yet, if I'm playing my cards properly, right? On the other end, there's that nesting, that making things comfortable, making sure that we're all on the right the right playing field. And that's a difficult that puts us right back into that situation of juggling so much, because it does take so much, because there is all kinds in this world, and we have to be able to make that movement in our own lives. And when we're coming into such contact with other people making their movement, right, we get that opportunity, and it is an opportunity of an exchange. And whether that exchange is only momentary, or in that exchange we have a recognition and a right, and we say, oh goodness, that looks interesting, he looks like a fun person to be around, right, right. And it is in that partnership of those things that make us feel good, in that exchange, right? Because it has to be an exchange, because otherwise you're just taking somebody's time, number one, right? Because they have to entertain somebody when they could be doing something else or entertaining something else. But lots of times, right, in that respectfulness of what we don't understand, and understanding that we are rubbing others along the way, that we can practice, right, by the lessons that have come across our paths in our own experiences, those conversations, those adventures, and in those lessons, because it's all lessons, and whether or not we're paying attention, right? That would actually show itself in how we're interacting with each other, in that respectfulness, in that knowing that each conversation is an opportunity to build on a momentary relationship or something that might move on its way, but somewheres in crossing our paths, an opportunity arise, or maybe it's just something that we find ourselves in, year after year, lifetime after lifetime. And it just becomes an enhancement of what's already there. I've been bumping into lots of characters, right, in my lifetime. But even in this short span of time where I'm taking in my lessons, and I've been able to recognize that, it takes all kinds to make the world, number one. And number two, we are not so different from each other, and we're not so segregated from each other like we are quite often made to believe that we are. It's only in our choices, and we have the choice to spend a little bit of time in getting to know somebody, right? Sometimes we have to be creative in how we have to get to know somebody, right? Because we are, again, in that polite movement. When we rub shoulders to each other, we have to take into consideration the other parties, right? So we move about and we feel our way around. And like I said, every once in a while, something will come across your path and you go feel it out, right? And if there's an opportunity to expand on that, great, right? Are there lessons to be had? Great in that too, right? But be willing to be swept up by something or someone else in that process, because we don't want to be steadfast, like rooted, so rooted that there is no give in us. And then we become just stuck. And then there isn't any movement, no movement for myself, no movement for anybody that I'm connecting with, because it's just not being felt. It's just not being heard. It's just not impacting the way that it should. And not to blame ourselves or anybody else in that process or anything else in that process, but just accept it for what it is, if you recognize what it is, and move along, because that community is waiting for you, right? And we quite often will find ourselves stuck in places where we're not supposed to be, or we're supposed to be, but right, because of that quiet politeness that we have, we recognize that other people don't recognize that that's where you're supposed to be. So you make your decisions in that, you make choices in that, and you can make it comfortable and easy for yourself and for others, right? Or you could make it difficult and throw those fits and throw those rocks and hold those grudges and lose the opportunity somewheres down the road, right? Because if you're right, you're going across paths again, right? And because you didn't react in that temporary, momentary, or right, uh, or that long span of time that we can spend in our relationships, possibly for lifetimes, right? So always, I see so many people out there just hard, me myself, but it is in that programming, but it's also in that willingness to try, right? That willingness to go deeper in trying to understand and to try and find a way, right? Because if you resonate with it so strongly, there's a reason for that, right? But again, in that quiet politeness, right? You dance with it or you dance around it, right? And because you never give up, you find a way, you adapt and conquer, right? Because you believe in yourself, you believe in your movement. It's just a matter of showing up until somebody else believes in it too. Okay, you guys, I've got to run off. It's my first day of my work week in that job that puts the roof over my head, serving a community that is absolutely amazing and makes my job amazing, right? Fun, enjoyable, but also at the same time full of movement, and we never know where that movement's going to be. We just play with it when it happens, when it comes across our paths, in that quiet politeness of those, right, rubbing shoulders and interconnecting with each other. Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer. See you tomorrow.